everybody, my name is Ren. Welcome back. Today I'll be discussing everything from artifacts to rotation so you can get the most out of your Furina. So you've just picked up Furina and you didn't study her kit. It's alright, I've got you covered. Furina's kit is all based around her draining all of the party members' HP to unleash attacks. Furina is of course an HP scaling character. Depending on your alignment, Furina's elemental skill summons either the Salon members or the Singer of Many Waters. The Salon members fight alongside the active characters, and whilst they attack, they consume party members' HP. The Singer of Many Waters heals the on-field character's HP and only the on-field character. Also, side note, Furina's birthday is one day before mine? That's crazy. Furina's elemental burst places the party in a universal revelry state. Now, Furina's burst revolves around her fanfare. Basically, the more fanfare she has, the more damage Furina's party members can do. How do you get that fanfare? Simple. All you have to do is have characters' HP increase or decrease to gain fanfare. If you have been actively using your Furina, you'll notice your party members will have lost a chunk of HP, meaning healing to gain fanfare is a viable option. I also consider this to be the best option, especially in the Abyss. Back to the kit. Furina's max fanfare is 300, but the real question is, how do you count those fanfare stacks? At 100, you will see the Salon members at the bottom of the screen. This is accompanied with a dim flash and a few bubbles on all sides of your screen. At 200, the crowd members at the bottom of your screen will be increased. And at 250, you'll notice a full house. And once you've maxed out, all four sides of your screen will have a much brighter effect with giant bubbles and glittering stars. My favorite, of course, is the ripple animation in the middle of your screen. You should know that with Furina C1, the maximum number of stacks is increased by 100. Let's move into passive talents. Her passive talents are Endless Waltz. The way it works is if the source of healing is not Furina, when the on-field character receives healing and it overflows, then Furina will heal a nearby party member for 2% of their max HP once every 2 seconds within the next 4 seconds. The next passive, known as Unheard Confession. For every 1000 points of Furina's max HP, it'll buff her skill. The maximum stacks are received at 40,000 HP, which is kind of impossible to get. I mean, it's insane. For the Usia alignment, the Salon members' damage is increased by 0.7%. This is capped at 28. For Numa alignment, it decreases the active character healing interval by 0.4%. This is capped at a total of 16%. For the next passive I'm mentioning is known as the Seize My Stage. Doesn't really do much for you except exploration. The cooldown of, praying I'm saying this right, Xenochromatic Fontamir Aberrant ability is decreased by 30%. In an ideal world, you'll triple crown in one day, but if you're running low on the trance domain drops or any other materials, you'll want to go for skill, burst, and then her normal attack if you'd like. Moving forward, let's take a look into Furina's constellations. C1 increases Furina's fanfare limit by 100 and introduces 150 fanfare as the base amount. C2 focuses on maximizing the fanfare stacks as quick as possible, meaning the team benefits from Furina's buffs quicker. The secondary effect from her C2 has an increase of Furina's max HP after reaching maximum fanfare stacks. In other words, Furina's healing and off-field DPS will be increased, which can allow you to focus on other stats, such as the hydro damage bonus on the goblet. And by stats, I mean artifacts. C3 just gains you more talent levels on her burst. C4 has more energy. I consider this pretty self-explanatory. C5, more energy. Anyways, skipping all the boring stuff. C6. C6 Furina gains a buff for 10 seconds that infuses Hydro to her normal charged and plunging attacks. This damage is buffed by 50% of her max HP and can deal additional effects every 0.1 seconds. This is all, of course, depending on her arc alignment. For Numa, she has an increase in normal charged or plunging attacks. This damage by 15% of her max HP. If the Numa effect hits an opponent, all allies lose 1% of their HP. This effect may be triggered up to 7 times. For Usia, all allies are healed by 3% of the Hydro Archon's max HP every second up to 2.5 seconds. And that covers that. This is all there is to know about constellations. Moving forward with weapons. Furina's best in slot weapon ordered from her best to her worst weapons. Obviously, Furina's best in slot is going to be the Splendor of Tranquil Waters, her 5-star signature weapon. Going to the details of this weapon, when HP increases or decreases, Furina's elemental skill damage will be increased by 8% for 6 seconds with a max of 3 stacks. This effect can be triggered every 2 seconds. Now, when other party members' current HP increases or decreases, the equipping character's max HP will be increased by 14% for 6 seconds, having a max of 2 stacks. This effect can be triggered every 2 seconds, even if the wielder is off field. It's amazing, actually. The next weapon is Primordial Jade Cutter and Nilo's signature due to it having an HP stat and HP based skill effects. For those who buy the Battle Pass, the Wolfang is a great option. For free-to-plays, the Flusandre Ferryman, a fishing-based weapon, is a lovely option, though it will be very time-consuming to get. I would know. Chryson right in main. Of course, there are more weapons like the Festering Desires weapon, but you will likely not have it if you're a newer player, because this weapon is an event-based weapon, leaving your next option to be Dockhand's assistant. Alright, you've got the weapons down, but what is a character without— I can't do this. I don't know why my brain thought I'm oh man, I'm gonna re-record that line. Okay, here we go, guys. Being serious this time. Alright, you've got— bro. No, I can do this. I can be serious. Alright, you've got the weapons down, but what is a character without artifacts? Furina's best in slot is the 4-piece Golden Troop set. What makes this set so good is the fact as a 2-piece set, Furina is granted an increase of her elemental skill damage by 20%. The 4-piece set bonus has an increase of elemental skill damage by an additional 25%. And when your character is not on field, elemental skill damage will be increased further by 25%, making it perfect for Furina. Due to the way her skill works, you can get up to 70% skill damage bonus from the Golden Troop 4-piece set. On the slight chance, though, that you do not have a Gold Troop set, not to worry, you can mix and match with sets that give HP percent, energy recharge, and hydro damage bonus or skill damage bonus. These are all viable alternatives. Specifically, you can go with the 4-piece set of Tenacity of the Millilith. It will still give your Furina extra HP and will increase attack of all other party members. This set is viable for a hydro carry or attack scaling supports. Anyone who thought to use the 4-piece Vorikusha's Glow, take note that Furina's life drain doesn't count as taking damage, meaning you cannot use the 4-piece set bonus. For an on-field Furina, the Marujusi Hunter set is in fact viable. Since Furina is an HP scaling character, her ideal subsets will be HP percent, energy recharge, and crit rate or crit damage to maximize the damage she can do. In the case of Furina, you'll want to have enough energy recharge to have her burst ready for your rotations, and the amount of ER is fully dependent on your team and weapons. In general, you'll want a total of 160 to 200 energy recharge. To get more specific, for 120 to 140 ER if you have 3 or more Hydro characters present, 150 to 180 ER for double Hydro on your team, 180 to 200 if Furina is the sole Hydro character on your team. Just note that C4 lowers this a lot by 40 to 60%. Once you've obtained enough energy recharge, you'll want to build Furina with crit rate to crit damage and then to HP percent. Furina's artifact equipment should be, for her sand at least, HP percent or energy recharge. If you don't have enough for the circlet, you'll want crit. In terms of the goblet, both HP and hydro damage are both viable options, and it all comes down to a battle of substats. Moving on to teams and healers. Throughout this guide, I mentioned that Furina drains her teammates' HP, but this does make your characters squishy. So the best team members for Furina in terms of healing is Baiju, Jean, a standard 5-star, and Kokomi. All these characters have one thing in common. They can heal the entire team, which is what you'll ideally want to gain the fanfare buff quickly. Jean can run the Viridescent Venus set, instantly healing your team with her burst and leaving a field behind that heals your characters over time. Baiju's skill will heal all party members and has a 10-second cooldown. Kokomi has a skill that will passively heal your characters, and where she shines is having her as a driver in Furina teams. Although I do think it's kind of crazy to play Noelle, she can also be a good character as she can also heal the entire team with her burst. Pigeon Boy is good if you build him solely for healing, but truth be told, I don't care for him. He's only really going to have one job, and I just can't see any other use for him. Sayu is a good alternative to Jean, being able to run the VV set and good at healing. Charlotte is surprisingly synergistic with Furina. Her only drawback is she needs a lot of energy and her skill takes a while to use. She does heal the whole team though, especially with her C1. And my original Nahida before Nahida, Yao Yao, has a skill that passively heals you with a burst. That does team healing. The only drawback to her is that she requires some on-field time. OG Kokomi, Barbara, can be another option as her burst has AoE healing and she needs a lot of energy recharge, so she's not the best option. Bennett and Kuki Shinobu can be good options if you're doing quick swapping. Cookie does drain her own HP, and that would allow you to get more fanfare stacks. And that was a mouthful. In general, Furina's teams will always look like Furina, plus a healer, and 2 flexible spots. Let's keep the team short and simple, but before that, I'm going to mention this one unique thing Furina does. Due to the way Furina's kit works, she makes the Maruchusi Hunter set viable for all of your DPS characters. Skipping the 2-piece bonus, and let's look at the 4-piece set bonus that will give you a max crit rate of 36% for 5 seconds when your HP increases or decreases. Also, quick note that Furina's buff lets other set pieces like non-elemental goblets become more viable. Isn't that great? I love Furina, oh my gosh. Now seriously, on our teams. I'm going to start this off by saying that ideally, in my opinion, you should always be running double Hydro for the Hydro Resonance that grants more HP. Moving on. First up, Furina Hyper Bloom. Furina can be played with 2 mediocre healers or 1 good healer, running her with a Dendro or Electro character with 1 flexible spot. You can run Furina with a second Hydro for more Hyper Bloom. Another team available to you is a Vape team with Hu Tao. It is recommended you run with another Hydro character to constantly have that Hydro uptime. The reason for this is that Furina might be amazing in terms of providing damage, however she lacks consistent Hydro application, so you will end up missing some Vape damage. So for security, you run another Hydro character in that team. Now, you want to say F every other element and just go with Mono Hydro team. That will also benefit from Furina's buffs. Electro Charge can work as long as you have enough healing. A Burst team is viable, but you will likely need another Hydro character to make it work. Furina works great with Xiao as long as you have a strong healer. And then there's, of course, my personal favorite team, Neuvillette, Furina, Jean, and Zhongli. The reason why this team works so well is because Neuvillette is a self-sufficient Hydro DPS that drains and heals himself using his abilities, meaning he is the natural cheat code to gaining fanfare points from Furina's burst. Now, that's it for teams. I can only say that when Furina is built correctly, will be a wonderful addition for you in any way you decide to use her. And in general, I hope you all come to love Furina as much as I have. And with this, I can happily conclude this video. Thank you all for watching. I hope you leave a like and subscribe. Bye-bye.